Welcome back to the TriFecta Airsoft podcast. I'm your host, E-Rock. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you never miss another podcast. Also, do me a favor. Go on to whatever podcast app you listen to us on and give us a rating and review. That really helps us rank in the searches. Thank you so much. Let's get into the podcast.
Hi.
Welcome. Hell yeah.
How's your day been?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you have a headset, a mic. You know how to work it.
I like that. You want to see that? You want to see this? Like, I'll bring. Like, I've got the big. You're gonna hear a loud.
What do you call this? Road or something?
There you go.
Bro. That's like, what is that? Tell it. What do they call it?
So it's called a shot. All right, it's gonna be really loud. I'm just gonna move it back so it's not deafening. There you go. So it's called a shotgun mic.
Nice.
So it's designed in like theater spaces, like, and recording media stuff. So it's like, it means that I don't have to have it like in shot. So it's off to one side with pointing at me, so it can pick up from 8 miles away.
Nice.
Not miles, but yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm not that fancy. I got this $25 little telemarketer headset.
Does the job.
It does the job.
Does the job.
Works great for me. You know, so many people on here are they're not, you know, they'll get a mic like that. Well, similar, you know, whatever, standalone mic. And they're not used to streaming or doing podcasts. You know, I guess if they stream, they wear a gaming headset, but they're not used to sitting here with the mic in front of them and speaking into it.
It's so yeah, and they kind of like they
move around
closer and closer, like, yeah, I'm just going to talk all the way over here now, and it's like really quiet.
And then the volume is all over the fucking place, so I'm like, I can't clean that up.
Yeah, no, you can't. I'm hoping mine's sounding pretty clear.
It is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So I met you through Dan. Dan was talking about you a couple weeks ago when I talked to him, and I had seen. Is it your name or the name of your company?
It's the name of my company. So my name's Josh.
Okay.
The business name that I run and own is called Krios Photography, which is solely a airsoft photography business. That's all it does. All it focuses on. Doesn't do anything else. Well, I do portraits and stuff, but the main goal of it is to focus on airsoft. I'm one of the only people that do just airsoft, and I employ people like Dan, Bernie. I employ Red Panda, freelance. I employ Caitlin. I employ to go and take photos at sites throughout the UK.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So he was talking about you, and I had seen your company name on a few of his pictures on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And so when he and I talked, and he brought you up, I was like, oh, I need to talk to this guy.
Yeah, because he sent me a message like, you need to send him a message, and that's when I sent you the pretty much message like, I keep hearing my name mentioned. I've heard it like my company's mentioned like 3 or 4 times now. I should really just be like, oh, screw it. I'm just gonna go on, just say my piece.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Well, you sent me the link to your website and your YouTube channel, and man, you got some really good pictures on your site. Cheers. You have all kind of different pictures on your website. Yeah.
So have you looked at it recently? Because I've just done an update on it, so it's more airsoft heavy now. But underneath the bottom, I still have like old cosplay photos, like that photo. There's these photos here I took.
Yeah.
My wall. So it's like I do a load of things. That's when I was in Sri Lanka for a little bit. So I do a load of photos there. I can do a bit of everything, but airsoft is where it's at for me. Like, it's fun because you get to see so many different styles.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky in the fact that people like my photos to the point where I make a bit of money out of it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. When I went to your website, see, I thought you just had airsoft photos. And
no,
then
it used
because
to be, but I still have to make money somehow. So
sure.
I do have styles photography, but so I'm going to say My website's 80% airsoft, 20% elsewhere, sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I saw the cosplay and the pets and animals and
Yeah.
all kind of shit like that. So now, how did you get into photography as a profession?
As a profession, so I work another job as well. So I work in theatre. So I work backstage in large West End shows and things. And I used to work on cruise ships. So going back 8 years now, I used to work for Disney Cruise Line.
Okay.
As I was one of their head technicians on board. So I did that. And then as a going away present, my parents were like, oh, have this camera. Like me never picking up a camera before in my life. They're like, oh, you're going traveling, you're going to go to these countries around the world, so take some photos. And I was like, sure. So I went out, I took photos. I'm like actually, I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying taking these photos. And working in theatre, I get to meet these fantastic performers and stuff who all look gorgeous. So I'm just going to go I'm just going to take photos of them. I did that for free, just learning a muck about. And then it just got to a point where one performer was just like, can I pay you for these photos? Like, how much do you charge? And I went, wait a minute. And then from there, it kind of snowballed sort of thing. And then I launched a company, Krios Photography. It's named Krios because back in the day, my hair was like curly down to here, white, long hair. So I got the nickname called Sheep. You can ask Marcus, freelance airsoft, about that. Because I got him into airsoft. I've been doing it way longer than everyone you've spoken to, like Dan and Marcus. I'm the one that got Marcus with another friend into airsoft because I've been already doing it like 5 years at that point. But no, I was going to call myself Sheep Photography, but then I sound like some weirdo who just takes pictures of sheep. So I was kind of going like, I can't really do that. So I then, I literally just went other languages for sheep. I literally Googled it. And then I came across Greek, and Krios is Greek for sheep/ram. So I was like, so that'll do. So it's got a fun little story behind it all. And I'm like, tick. That's all my name and my branding done. And now literally everything I do is just Krios because it's just easier. But people always say it wrong because people think my name's like Chris or something like that. I'm like, no. But using a third party name like Krios, it allows me to easily employ photographers to help with doing photos and stuff instead of it being like, oh, I work for Josh. It's like, no, I work for Krios Photography.
Right.
It's a big brand name rather than it being like, it's like if someone booked me to go to an airsoft site, it's not necessarily always going to be me then showing up. But it's like, oh, we've hired Josh Photography, they're expecting me. But if they hire Krios, I can guarantee them a photographer of a caliber.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's funny you said the sheep thing because the first area I clicked on your website were like about British 4 or 5 pictures of sheep. Yeah. I said, oh shit. Okay.
Those are the sort of photos I do when I'm just walking around the countryside near where I live and sort of thing. I'm like, oh, let's just go out here, let's go take some photos. And where I grew up, there were tons of sheep farms. It's kind of ironic, but it was kind of like, oh, let's just take photos of those because why not? And I've actually sold a few prints of those in the past where people actually bought them and put them in like a couple of restaurants and stuff have bought them and things in the past as well.
Okay.
Or people just put them in their house. I'm like, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Well, those ones behind you too, man. Those are
those
are cool, cool to have.
Yeah, there's I'm trying not to show too much of a lot.
Oh, nice.
A set of 3 there, which is just a photo I took when
Yeah.
There we go. It was some photos I took when I was traveling for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. The speaking of Marcus and how he got into airsoft, I just talked to him last night or yesterday afternoon. It was afternoon for me.
Time zones are confusing right now.
Yeah, dude. When you said that, I was like, because I left work and I was stuck in this traffic on the way home, and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm gonna get home like 5 minutes before we got to start. And
you're like, text me 2 minutes ago. I'm like, oh, I'm doing my laundry right now.
I know, right? And I said, shit, I thought I had the time right. I don't know why I don't.
It normally is 5 hours. Like,
Yeah.
are you East time?
Yeah, I'm Eastern time.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So it's just like I was thinking like, yeah, because I used to work in Florida. So therefore I'm kind of going like, Eastern time, yeah, it's like a solid 5 hours, except when it's like daylight saving times and stuff, and then it turns to like 6 hours.
That's so
And then
weird.
it screws everyone up. Like it's like that for like 2 weeks, and then it goes
Yeah.
back to 5. It's
Yeah.
just how it
Right.
is.
Yeah, because ours changes this coming weekend.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. And then so when it changes for you, it'll go back to 5 hours.
Right. Oh, that's wild.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy.
So it worked out good. I was able to get a couple things done before jumping on here. But yeah, yesterday Dan was talking about, he mentioned you a lot because of,
He's how can I say this
getting
nicely?
into airsoft.
He's my little minion sort of thing.
He texted me this morning. He texted me this morning. It was probably, lunchtime for him. And he was drinking the whole time. We were sitting here talking or whatever, and he was drinking gin mixed or whatever. And he texted me today and was like, bro, I had way too much. He goes, I was hurting this morning.
I bet he was. The fact is, when he starts, he just, like, he's got like, he's got, so his attention is nil. So the fact is, if he's got something to fiddle with, like me, I can't struggle to pay attention. I'm drinking as well. So it's just that sort of thing where it's like, I can keep talking if I keep my hands busy drinking.
Right. Yeah. I've done that so many times on these podcasts when I first started, having people on and talking, and it's like they would go longer and longer and longer. Because especially if me and the person I'm talking with are both drinking,
I bet.
It's just like being at a party, when you start drinking and you find somebody you talk to and you have this interesting conversation and you don't realize how much you're drinking because you just,
and then you stand up and you fall on the floor.
Whoa. No shit, right? So you've been playing airsoft a long time. Okay, longer than these guys.
So I started, so I'm 27 now.
Yeah.
I started when I was 13, 14. So it's got about 15 years now. I've been playing on and off, I should say.
A friend of yours got you into it, or how did you learn?
Yeah, so a friend of mine, his family owned a farm, who I went to school with, sort of thing. And he was like, hey, there's this new thing. We've got some like BB guns. Do you want to just go? We've got some woods out the back of the farm. It costs we bought like the 40-pound bright orange, cheap. So about probably $50 sort of thing, airsoft gun.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Cheap as you can get. So we did that, just played out in the back of his farm. And then he's like, hey, there's this local site. Because we've been bucking about for about a year doing it. So over time, you see things secondhand and you start building up your little armory.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool. You know what? Yeah, let's go to the site. And then we went to the site, and then I'm still out of that core group. I'm still the only one who still does it.
Oh, shit.
Sort of thing. Because they've all gone on and done this. They've moved away, done things. So me, I'm like, I've started making money out of it. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of how I kept myself interested in it, is I found a way. Because I played for I'm going to say 6 years solid. I played it. Then I found my love for photography while traveling, did that, came back from traveling. It's like, let's take some photos of some airsoft games. For free, not planning on making any money out of it. Just just seeing, so take photos of it, just post them up on Facebook sort of thing. Then I was like, at the time, there was no one really doing airsoft photography in terms of selling them. It was always just slap them on Facebook. And if they did sell them, you had to email them, be like, so you emailed the photographer, they said, oh, PayPal me £5 or whatever.
Yeah.
So you did that, then eventually they'll email back to you the photo sort of thing. It was such a lengthy process. I'm like, there's got to be, this is where Dan says I'm the business mind sort of person. And Caitlin probably said the same thing. Whereas there must be a way how I can streamline this.
Yeah.
Do some research, create a website, automated the entire process. So it's now literally anyone can, I go to an event or one of my partners goes to an event, they take the photo, they literally, if they're a partner, they hit upload, and then I just sell them and they get 80, 90% of the profit sent to them, and I just take a little cut to run my website.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So one big goal, I'm going on tangent now. So one of my main goals of an airsoft photographer is to give the people, because there's still hundreds of airsoft photographers out there who literally just turn up to a site, have a passion for it, have the right mindset on how to take a good photo. Granted, the camera might not be the best or anything like that, but you don't need a good camera to be a good photographer.
Yeah,
like, straight up. I can't really talk with my stuff, but it's that sort of, but like I've done a couple. So currently I'm talking to someone about bringing into my partner program. So my partner program, I offer them mentorship, a place where they can, for free, upload images, like completely free, no strings attached. Like they can literally just, I create a link, a gallery for them, they upload the images and then sell them. So it gives them a reason to follow that passion of taking photos and being able to do it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm talking to a couple of people actually in the US right now, because I can do it to anyone in the world. Like,
right.
You know, I'm using this partner program as a kind of as a tester for some future plans that are coming early next year, where I'm creating a website where any airsoft photographer can upload images for free. Like, again, for free. There'll be video. This is where the YouTube comes in, where videos, mentorship, on advice on how to take photos at an airsoft game, talk to site owners, all of the above. They can then sign up for it. Once they're approved, they upload for free. Then they can sell their photos.
That's cool.
Like, granted, and then the only thing is I take, so they get then at least 80% of all profit.
Yeah.
Made through, say, if they sell one photo, they get 80% of that sale after transaction fees, which I think is like, there's no one else doing it. And I don't like seeing some of these sites taking advantage of photographers, because photography is work. People put a lot of time and effort into it. Like,
absolutely.
And like Sunny sites.
Not to mention the cost of the equipment.
Oh yeah, like going.
Show that camera real quick that you just held up.
Make it look like
that whole lens thing, like, bro.
So I put it this way: this is a Canon 5D Mark IV.
Yeah.
This cost me. This is my airsoft setup. Like, this is what I take airsoft things. So this is about, when I bought it, $3.5. So about $4,000.
Oh, damn!
For this part, when I bought it, so that was a couple of years ago. This is my, I'm going to say, my cheap lens, because it's one that if it gets damaged, I'm not going to cry too much about it. But again, this is about $1,000 to $1,500 lens here.
Oh my god!
Sort of thing, and that's just that. So straight away there, you've got a $5,000 setup that I'm taking to an airsoft site to be shot at. Yeah,
no shit.
Sort of thing. So it's that, like, but I do, and that's my cheaper setup. I've got another lens and a heli case over there, which is about $3,000. That I only take for like studio sessions and stuff like that, because I do all of that for airsoft as well.
Right. Damn, bro. Yeah, one of the guys I was talking with about a month ago, whatever, Trenton Timberlake, on that's his name, and that's what his Instagram handle as well. He's a photographer, and part-time, and airsofter, obviously, but he was saying the same thing. I said, how do you get some of these shots on the field where, do you take the big long lenses and shit like that? He's like, I have one that I take same thing. If it gets damaged, I'm not going to freak out. Yeah. But the other one, I am not taking to the airsoft field.
See, this is where I'm actually developing a product right now, behind closed doors a little bit, which is, so let's see. I don't think I've got it. So the worst thing about a camera is you don't want this bit shot out, the glass in the middle shot out with a BB. Yeah. So what I'm currently doing is I'm creating a polycarbonate protector that goes on the end of it, that you just screw on the end.
Yeah.
And it can take like several BBs before it will not shatter.
Huh.
Sort of thing. It's in development because it's still got a few kinks to work out and stuff, because if I start putting my name to it and stuff, I want to make sure it's up there in the quality.
So what is with that process, what you're going through right now, trying to figure that out, is what would you say is the biggest obstacle with that?
So the easy thing to do is
clarity.
It's not the clarity, it's the fact that, so I got that I've got that down now. So I found the right thickness of polycarbonate I need to use.
Okay.
But then the thing that I'm struggling with right now is scratches. So the issue I found, so the difference between glass and polycarbonate and acrylic is acrylic's more robust in terms of scratches than polycarbonate, but acrylic will just smash like completely.
It's brittle. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but while polycarbonate, it would absorb that. But the fact that even if you rub a microfiber cloth over it will scratch. Like, so my biggest fight right now in developing this product is a way to stop that polycarbonate from scratching because it's so thin as well.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to talk in mil, but it's 0.5 of a mil. So it's really the same thickness as the glass.
Yeah.
To make it all to not affect any focus or anything of the camera.
Exactly.
So, but again, I'm struggling right now with that scratches. But the moment I fix the scratch issue, it's going straight up on my website for sale.
So, you know, those, remember when a few years ago with phone cases that Gorilla Glass came out?
Yes.
You ever hear about that?
I've got some on my phone here.
Yeah. Right. And so when that takes the impact, and that's supposed to break or crack instead of your screen, and it's super thin. I don't know how it's made, but
exactly. The reason why that helps is because it's got an adhesive back on it. So that adhesive is then absorbing it against the glass. While the issue with a lens is you can't have anything stuck to that, that glass because it defeats the point of it.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people use is a UV filter. So it's like glass sort of thing, but the issue is the argument I always hear is a sacrificial lens. I've had one on the lens and a BB shot straight through it and scratched my lens. It stopped the lens from smashing, but it put a small scratch in the corner of it from where the BB saw through. Luckily, it wasn't in a place that really matters too much. And as I do this pretty much full time, I have insurance. Massive thing I also advocate to people is just get photography insurance. Just get it, because if you're doing it professionally and you're making money, spending, I'm going to say $300 a year on insurance, like good insurance, it's worth every penny.
Now, that kind of insurance, what does that cover? Like, you have options. What does it cover? Your whole camera and lens?
It'll cover my camera, lens, laptop, anything that I use to do with my business, I can declare. I can claim it. Say right now, my editing PC that I'm on right now, say if that goes up in flames for some reason, I can claim that back. And I can get a brand new PC down. My laptop, if that goes or gets stolen or anything like that, I can get it. I can get a new one back. Like, I have to pay an excess fee sort of thing. Right. But if it's, say, a $5,000 lens that's been smashed, I'd rather spend the $200 excess fee to get it replaced than spend the $5,000 again.
Of course.
Sort of thing. I'm a huge person, like, just get insurance. You also then get public liability insurance and all these other things. So if you're at an airsoft site and, say, the owners are a bit dodgy, sort of thing, if, say, someone gets injured, you're taking, say, a photo of someone and they get injured while posing, for example, next thing they're going to know, they might try and come after you.
Oh, shit.
Like, it's just as bad as in the UK as it is from a business owner point of view.
Right.
It's just as bad as it is, I'm going to say bad, as the US, where I'm going to sue you. The exact same issue happens if you're a business owner. Not so much on the individuals, but as a business owner, it definitely comes across. So for me, I'm like, the insurance covers, like, say if I take a photo of a client and they don't like the photo, and they're saying, I'm going to sue you because I don't like the photo, I want my money back. I have insurance. My insurance will will cover whatever those damages might be. So it's for, like I said, so like $20 a month sort of thing. You're covered. Like,
that's worth it.
And a lot of events you go to as well. Like, so as Dan, Mark, they went the National Airsoft event. My business is the one that does all the photography for that event.
Wow.
And in order to do that sort of thing, I have to have public liability insurance. I have to have this. I have to have fire regulation. I have to have it all. This paper, which is the big thing that I want to start talking about in these future YouTube videos I'm doing, which is purely airsoft photography. I want to highlight other photographers. There's a current video that's up there from when I did an event a couple of weeks ago, AI 500 in that shopping mall, sort of thing. I was there playing, but I was also there for a bunch of content creators who I'm friends with, filming them, doing stuff for their videos.
Yeah.
But I also was there meeting Sam, who was a photographer there, who's a friend of mine. And I did a highlight video of him, having an interview with him, like talking about how do you protect your lens, what's your worst sort of pose, what things annoy you, what do you recommend to a new photographer? Because as I want to share the love of airsoft photography, because it's something that is so looked over by so many sites.
Yeah.
Like the site that I currently mainly go to down in the south, people come to that site to get their photos taken.
Yeah.
Like I'll get Instagram messages saying, hey, we're looking at this into the site. Are you there? I'm like, no, I'm not there, but I'm there next week. Like, cool, we'll see you the following week then. It's that sort of.
That's cool. Now, do you post like a schedule, like a calendar of where you're going to be? That's a good idea.
I my website, under my home site where I currently am at the most, which is Driverwood, which is down in the south. Great site, quite big, got some unique things, great for photos. So I'm there at least twice a month on a Sunday, but they run every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, if not more. So when I'm not there, that's when I bring my partners across who I was talking about, that mentorship, which is Dan, Caitlin, Bernie, all of them all go down there. One of them will go down for that day.
Yeah.
They'll take photos from me, so there's a photographer there every day. But on the website, there's a calendar for that individual site on who's there with their Instagram thing, because I don't like taking the credit for those photos I don't take.
Yeah, sure.
I'm hugely like, it's their photos. They took it. They're just using my website as a way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only, because I once got in a bit of an argument with a site owner at another site about the quality of photos, and they were saying like, you're turning up, if you turn up, take the photos and post them for free. And I just went, no, that's not how I operate. I charge $2 per photo for like the lowest resolution, all the way up to like $8 for the highest res, because I like doing abroad. But like they didn't get why I was charging for my photos. I'm like, business, like I have to make a living.
Yeah,
I have to pay off this and editing software and all of these sort of things. And they were just like, they didn't get it until literally they started like, I then made a post about it because I'm petty. And the amount of support I got for it. And then suddenly, surprisingly, they changed their tune in a couple of weeks. Like after seeing the amount of flack, they're like, a load of people boycotted their site.
Yeah.
Because of
don't they understand that because you're going to that field, doing what you're doing, that you're actually bringing people to that site?
Yeah, which is what the owner of Driverwood saw. The owner of Driverwood saw is like, yeah, come on down. I literally, he posted, I think, literally one evening, he's like, we're looking for a photographer to come down. I went, I have a business that literally supplies photographers to sites. Kind of like, I sent him a message within a week. I had then every one of their weekends filled with a photographer. Every game day, there would be a photographer there.
Dude, that's cool.
The only month there isn't one there is August, where I'm trying to organize the National Airsoft event with 3,000 plus players.
Right.
And I take a studio with me, like full on. I go all ham on it. I'm sure you saw some of the photos in front of the gazebos.
Yep.
So each one of those gazebos cost me $1,000 each, sort of thing, with people like standing with studio lights in there. So while they're my partners, because those are the only people I invite to come take photos with me are my partners.
Yeah.
So they go out, they're out in the field taking all the photos. They get paid for turning up. They get paid their accommodation and food.
Yeah.
And then I tend to, depending on how the weekend goes, I give them a percentage share as well of profit, because I tend to spend tons of money setting up. So whatever money I have left over, I then divide between them, because I'm like, you're here working, you're doing me a favor by turning up. So I'm going to return it by making sure, you have a fantastic weekend, because I'm like, airsoft is social. Airsoft is split into like three things. You've got like, I'm going to say 70% is playing. No, wrong way around. 70% is social. 20% is looking good. 10% is playing.
Right.
Like that is airsoft in a nutshell. Like for me, I only go for social. I only do milsims sort of thing. I did a 24-hour a couple of weeks ago in the rain, and I loved it. But I don't do skirmishes. I don't do that. doesn't fill me. I enjoy doing the milsim side of things.
I think that's the one Dan was talking about last night. I mean, not Dan, Marcus was talking about last night, the 24-hour.
That's when I went with him. Yeah, so me and Marcus drove up together. He picked me up. I live in central London while he lives in the middle of the countryside.
Okay.
Sort of thing. So I caught a train to like the local station, sort of thing, to where he was. Got a lift up. We then went and we just camped and hid in a ditch for an hour and a bit.
Yeah, he was talking about the you guys were wreaking havoc throughout the night. You wouldn't let him sleep.
Oh no, I went to bed. I went to bed.
Oh, did you?
I'm going straight to bed. I'm like,
you fucking slacker.
Like, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to bed. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm going to bed. I was the first up though, with someone tapping on my shoulder, being like, "You're dead." And I was like,
"That's what he said."
Cheers, mate. I'm like, I'm going to carry on sleeping.
He said same thing. He said, I finally went to bed, and a little while later, somebody woke me up, and he goes, I woke up and I saw these green, whatever, looking at me, and the guy goes, "You're dead." And he goes, "Okay," and just went.
And then I was like, Mark was sleeping on the left, I was sleeping on the right, literally. And then as he finished the park, he woke me up with Marcus, and I had my pistol, because it's all in game and stuff. I have my pistol just above me, and I was like going like, while he's killing him, like, I could just reach up. I could just grab it. Nah, I'm going to go back to sleep. It was literally like, it's like, I had the thought and I went, no, because then everyone else is going to be pissed at me because they're going to be wanting to go back to sleep. If I shoot this one guy, the entire team's going to come in. I was like, it's not worth it. Right. Yeah. That's then funny. We found out our building was definitely not as waterproof as we thought it was the following morning. I'm sure he told you all about that storm.
Oh yeah. Well, he sent me a picture yesterday while I was still at work, a couple hours before we started the podcast, and he said, "This is my office today." So he shows it's a picture from
sitting in the digger.
Yeah, he's sitting in the digger. You can see from his knees down, his feet are sitting up, like leaning out. His boots are untied, and all you see is mud. Just fucking mud, bro.
The exact opposite to what I am. Like that, because I work in backstage theatre, like I said. Like I would do photography 50%, I do this other business 50%. So I'm doing that, and literally I'm in like nice clothes, clean, like in a theatre, like backstage in a theatre. Like they definitely call me the middle class posh boy. Like out of them, who's like, you've got Dan who's like energy out doing everything possible. You've got Marcus, who's a labourer working in some pond, like loving life outdoors. Then you've got Bernie, who works in the zoo. And then it's just like, then there's just me, like, I'm going to the theatre. Yeah. Like, I'm also known for having the most posh accent out of all of them as well.
Oh, that's funny.
It's just what it is.
Well, and then Caitlin, she's a call center.
Yeah, she works on like the helplines or like trying to sell people shit.
She was funny, man. She was like, so half my day, when she told me what she did, she's like, half my day, I just, I just get people that say fuck off and whatever. I said, oh shit. Oh, that's funny. But she said she used to work in be a bartender, and I was like, hell yeah, man, that's cool. So y'all, see, these are the kind of friends I like to hang out with. People that aren't afraid to drink, Oh,
it's definitely not. None of us are. Like, exhibit A.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's that's cool, man. What's so cool is I've talked to so many people in the UK.
I literally see like you're posting like a podcast like every day, and I'm like, this is fantastic. Like there's no like, I enjoy it because I'm on the train into work. I tend to just, because it's like on Spotify, I just put it in my headphones and off I go, and I'm just enjoying it, sort of thing.
That's how I do. Yeah, when I find somebody that does and the thing is, you're always going to have people that, I mean, you can't please everybody. Obviously, there's going to be, if you could do the same exact thing. Somebody could do the same exact thing that I'm doing, or somebody else is doing, or I'm doing the same thing that somebody else is doing. Talking about the same topic or subjects, having similar guests on or whatever, and you're still going to have a separate following that's maybe they like how you speak
Yeah,
or your sound of your voice, or they don't like, you're going to have
exactly.
people that are
I
like,
have the same thing in
yep,
photography. I have a big, not that it's an issue too much, but my main issues that I have in photography is the people that come up to me who go, "Oh, why are you charging money? I can take a photo of my phone." My response to that is always go for it. Take a photo of your phone. I know some people that take fantastic photos on their phone,
yeah.
so I'm awful at it. Hence why I spent the money to make up for my awfulness.
Yeah, that
Um,
don't well, that was something that Dan and I made, Dan made a comment about. I said, I'm the or I told Marcus this last night too. I'm the unofficial, unprofessional uh photographer of the family, right?
yeah,
I just, I've always been the one taking pictures of the kids and, just the family moments or whatever. And so people don't realize how how much work goes into
yeah, exactly.
making a good photo better. Okay.
Yeah,
Like really good. So the focus, the lighting, the angle, what's in the frame, and then whatever kind of stuff you do to edit it afterwards, clean it up or add some color. That shit is but people are spoiled now because their phone cameras are getting
they're
better.
great. Exactly. So my opinion is you can if it's a photo for like social media or
Right.
anything general, you can take it on your phone. Absolutely fine. It'll be perfect for the job. The moment where I think you can charge for a photo or it's being used in advertising or commercial use,
Mm-hmm.
like that's where these come
Yeah.
in the fact that so if I say took 100 photos on my phone and then charged a fiver per photo,
Yeah.
that in my opinion that's wrong. I'm
Mm.
like that's taking me technically that's taking me 2 seconds to take a photo,
Right.
while someone again like me who would then bring one of these down, who would take say 600 photos in a day.
Yeah.
200 of them are crap. They've gone in the bin straight away. They're not up to that quality I require.
Yeah.
Now the other 400, I will then sit when I get home from the game day, and I'll edit every single one of those individually. And I tend to spend between, I'm going to say 5 to 10 minutes per photo,
Wow.
sort of thing in an evening. That's kind of my rough. Sometimes it's a lot quicker. Sometimes it's
Sure.
slower than that. Just
Right.
depending on the photo, I go through every single photo, and then for me, I then post it. I try and get them on my website for sale that same evening.
Wow.
So I go to so my general airsoft day doing photos is I get there at 9 a.m. I then take photos all morning to about 11:30 midday. From there, I go, cool. I've hit my target of 500 photos, like just on the card I've taken, not
Yeah.
gone through any of them yet. That's kind of how I roughly go from my head.
Mm.
I then go home, I edit, and I'm normally left between 300 and 400 photos. Sort of thing. I will then upload those that same day to then make some money.
Wow.
I do it like that because if I say took the photos, if I said did it all day at the event or site,
Yeah.
I might take 1,000 to 2,000 images.
Mm-hmm.
Could it depend? Because I've now got that knack where I can take photos I've been doing it for 10, 15 years now. I can now get those photos on point. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I
Right.
know my settings because I'm flicking through settings. I know my camera like the back of my hand.
Yep.
So I'm flicking through these settings, changing it on the fly incredibly quickly. Being able, you'll talk to Dan at some point again. He would like Josh could take like 200 images in like an hour. I don't understand how it works, sort of thing. So I can get these photos done so quickly, and then I go home, edit them, and once I edit them, if I get them uploaded in the same day, that's only then in my mind one work day. Well, if I stay there all day, get all these images, then I do a second day of editing. I now need to make enough money to justify 2 work days.
Mm.
So on a business side of thing, if I'm only doing it in one work day, in my head, I don't need to make as much money.
Gotcha.
Like I'm business minded through and through. And that is just how I'm like, how can I make the most profit with keeping to my professionalism and quality goals? And that is to
Right.
do a half day taking photos, get home, edit them, get them uploaded by about, I'm going to say my average time I try and get them up and my internet's behaving is normally between 6 and 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Get them up, done, And I also noticed that if I get them uploaded on the same day, I make about 40% more money
because it's
getting them out on
fresh.
the same day because it's fresh and
Yep.
people are done. So I also
Current with that event. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You get them up quicker. People are still hyped on it. More
Yeah.
people look at the galleries. Like National Airsoft event this year, I took an entire system with me to get internet at the event because we're in the middle of a forest. And there's no good internet there.
Starlink, bro.
I want to. I just
Elon
can't.
Musk.
I just can't justify the cost.
Do it.
I want to, but my other half would have a fit. Goes, what do you mean you just spent $500 on this?
Oh shit, no.
And then you're spending $100 a month on it. Like, what do you mean? I'm like,
yeah,
business, please. She's gonna text me in a minute. She's in the other room. She'll be here.
Oh shit. She's gonna walk in later, and you're gonna be scrolling through, like checking prices for Starlink.
I don't like.
Don't do it.
I'm constantly doing it. I'm constantly looking like, I really want to do it for next year, which is why I'm currently trying to like sign on more partners, because if I sign on more partners, because I get that they're not listening to this, so I'm going to tell Marcus and people to cover their ears. Basically, if I get more people doing that, say they do, let's say they go to 4 game days a month, sort of thing, every Sunday in the month, they go to a game day. They're all making £125 or £150 per game day. Yeah. So like $200 per game day sort of thing. I then get my little 20% cut of that. But I'm also fair in it in that I cap it at $25. $25, pounds, whatever you want. I cap it at that. So say they're working at the moment, my 20% hits 25, anything over that is theirs. Because again, I want it to be fair. I'm just using that to cover my storage costs and things, because I have terabytes of photos on my website, as you saw.
I'm sure.
And I don't like taking photos off it, because the amount of emails I've received in the past been like, hey, I went to this game day at this day, and I just wanted you to have those photos up. And of course, I go, here you go. If I make one sale from one of these old galleries, like someone might buy 5 photos, they buy the highest quality photos, that's £25. That's covered that storage for like the last year. Yeah. So I'm like, boom, tick, done. It's worthwhile keeping those in the long run. Yeah. Which is, again, all these business things I'm trying to. So for me, trying to now get these partners involved from a business point of view, I want as many sites, I want as many people, one, to grow my business, but also to grow their business. Right. Like, because I've got a small social thing, but I'm also friends with these larger content creators and stuff who are doing private events and stuff, and they go, oh, Josh, can you do photos here? I go, oh, I'm really sorry, I can't, I'm busy, but I know this person who's fantastic who could come and fit in and do this sort of thing. And that's I'm currently talking to 3 new partners this week.
Dude, that's smart though, man. You're running it smart, because you're not trying to be you know how to delegate. Yeah. And you're giving them an incentive to want to do it and to take good photos. So they have this monetary incentive to follow their passion, to be better at it. It's to give them a reason to do photography full time. That's how I do it. You got little Krios running around taking photos for you. Exactly. That's what Dan's for. But I get the name. Now I get it. Yeah, there we go. You're smart. You're smart. I tried, you probably heard Caitlin Dan when we did it with him. He was very much going like, Dan, like he went, Josh is just a genius. Just knows what he's doing. The amount of questions I get from him, like, how much do I charge for this? How much do I charge for that? Yeah. And I go, only you can answer your worth, Dan. But I charge roughly this much for it. Yeah. Like I'm a big believer in that it's their work. They should, like, if he says I'm going to charge him this much, I go, no, don't charge that much, charge a bit more than that. Sure. Like 9 times out of 10. But it's that sort of thing where I want people to realize their self-worth in that photography market. Yeah. And the only way I can think of doing that, granted, yes, I'm not gonna lie, I make a bit of money on the side of it, but modern world, I'm business minded, but it allows people to
not have to do that initial cost of setting up.
Right.
I've spent that thousands of pounds developing a website, setting all this up, sort of thing. So I've done the legwork to allow people to upload for free.
Right.
Like, the only thing is I take a small cut in the grand scheme of things. It's tiny.
Right.
Sort of thing, but it's just to keep it running, which is allowing me to hopefully, fingers crossed, next year to open up something cool, what I'm naming, thanks to Dan, who's going to like this, the Shooting Gallery, which is purely a website for any airsoft photographers in the world, like US, Europe, like anywhere, can upload this photo once approved, because I don't want them just posting any old stuff.
Right.
Once they're approved, they can upload whenever they want, any galleries, then sell them on to people, sort of thing. So that's my plan for next year. So I'm hoping that come this time next year, any airsoft photographer, small or big, can upload to the website for free, sell their photos. So allowing more people to stop having sites take advantage of them in terms of, I will pay you £20 to turn up and take photos. Because so many photographers do that, or they just turn up for free.
Oh, okay.
And they don't, and sites just take advantage of it.
Huh.
Because they're like the amount of
they don't know.
people, they don't know. Exactly.
Right.
It's just, again, where the YouTube channel's coming in, where I'm like, look at these people who I'm meeting.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Soundwaves 12, you've got Airsoft Project, there's a couple of others I'm meeting later on next year who do it full time, just photography, just like me. And they're going to go and like, they make serious money with brand deals. Again, something I want to touch on, like how to protect your lens, like all these videos I have lined up to help educate people. Yeah. Instead of being just following that norm of, oh, I can just take a photo. Like, oh, why do I need a photographer?
Exactly.
On my phone.
Well, you know, going back to the lens thing, I did have a question about that. You know, you said you had like it kind of scratched the edge or whatever at one point. So
if you give me a second, I could probably find it.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you look here, so this is what a normal. So this is like a ND filter.
Gotcha.
So this is just a bit of acrylic. And you can see, I don't know if you can really see it, there's some scratches on the top here.
Yep.
So that's the main issue I'm having. But also, if this is shot by a BB, this is brittle and will just shatter. Well, here, there's a bit of polycarbonate. You can see where I've tested it.
Oh, yeah.
Where I've literally taken a 500 FPS sniper and I've just shot it point blank. Like
damn.
Just trying to get it to break.
Yeah.
And all it does is leave marks. But the big issue is it picks up dirt. You can't really see it on my camera, but it scratches to hell.
Yep.
So the idea, what I'm trying to do is get rid of those scratches.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about, the actual, the glass, like your actual lens. If that gets a little mark or nick or something on it, do they have a way to fix that? No shit. Like no, there's no like repair shops that like
you can send it off to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
But most likely they'll say you need a new lens.
Oh shit.
It's good of the way how it is. So lens lesson. So in between, so you've got your front lens here.
Okay.
You might be able to see it, but then probably about an inch back, there's another bit of glass.
Yeah.
And that is vacuum sealed in between. Like, and all of this is, so it's full of, so on this, it's got glass going all the way through. You can probably see little bits of it. You can't really see. You can probably see one of it moving there.
Yep.
So that has multiple bits of glass in, moving to make it a zoom lens, so you can zoom in and out.
And everything's vacuum sealed
and
to keep out dust.
Weather, exactly.
Yeah.
So therefore, if one of those shatters and you lose that vacuum,
you're done.
There's no way for them to replace it. If it's got a scratch, you can take it to you can send it off to the manufacturer, and they might be able to
like
buff out the scratch.
Buff it out or something.
Exactly. But it's not really. It's not viable. You might.
I was going to say, you know, have you seen those little videos about the new products they have out, that liquid glass fixer? You know, like on your windshield, it seals up a crack and looks like perfect.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect to the eye,
but not through the lens.
Not with the digital sensor behind it. It'll pick up. So it'll
distort the picture in that one area.
The way the light goes through it, like even on these fixing things of like windshields and stuff.
Yeah.
If you look out when the sun goes through it, you see the you'll see a slightly different type of sunlight
Yeah.
reflecting through it from where it's like epoxy filling it.
Yeah.
So it will come up as like a blob on through the sun, compared to like being the smooth pattern it normally is through glass.
Yeah.
It's something like, so that exact same thing happens with this. Treat a lens as sunlight going through a window, and that's kind of what you see, sort of thing. Like the way how I always word cameras to people is, this is your eye.
Yeah.
No matter what, this camera bit here is your eye.
Yeah.
And these are your glasses.
Gotcha.
So say you've got a bad eye, you need glasses to fix it. Is why I always recommend people, if they're buying their first camera, this bit buy cheap, and this bit spend the money on.
Really?
Yeah, 100%, because this can be taken from camera to camera, and is always an investment.
Oh.
Well, in say, in a year's time, this could be outdated.
Gotcha.
This can be taken from one camera to another camera with no issues, if it's within the same brand and same sort of camera. But those are investments, while the camera body is like a one-off purchase. Well, multiple purchases, I should say.
Yeah. Dude, those lenses are wild, man. Like the glass, I mean, glass in general, the way it's made is pretty wild, and how they get it so perfect.
They're super thin as well. Like it's like, I mean, they're super strong. They are really strong and robust.
Yeah.
But for how thin that bit of glass is, it's insane.
That's crazy. Okay.
And how they get like the curves right.
Right.
It's understandable why they cost so much money. When you see what goes into them, you're like, damn.
Well, it's precision. Those are precision made pieces of equipment, man, like big time.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. That's cool. Now, do you have, you said you have a bigger lens or a more expensive lens?
I have a more expensive lens that's in a case somewhere.
Is it just like, is it more expensive because it's longer? You can zoom in more?
So it's, to be honest, it's exactly this. So this is called a 70-200mm lens. So that's how far it can zoom. It can zoom up to 200, like it's just how it is. So it's good for between, I'm going to say 3 meters and I'm going to say 40 meters. It's great for those distances. But the reason why this one is cheaper is it is smaller in how much light it can bring in.
Oh.
So this is called an f4 lens. So that's the aperture, which is how much light it can let in. Now, say on my more expensive one, which is bigger, has bigger glass on it.
Oh, okay.
So it lets more light in. So it's called a, it's a 70-200 f 2.8. So it's almost double the amount of light, which is great. It means you can take photos of things moving faster. It basically gives you more flexibility in the lens.
Oh, okay.
But the reason why it's more expensive is because it has more glass in it.
Right.
Which is also why it's bigger. Like lengthwise, so from there to there, it's about the same. Yeah. But the girth on it is like it's like massive.
Size does matter.
In this case, yes.
Oh my God, that's cool, man. Yeah, well, I see these, the photographers and these guys on the sidelines of the football games and whatever.
And their lenses are like,
they're like this long and like this fucking wide.
Yeah, so they're that wide because the idea about, so they're probably using a 300mm to like 500mm lens sort of thing. So they can zoom all the way in. And the issue is the further you can zoom in, the wide you need more light into the lens to get a crisper image, to get that speed up.
Gotcha.
Which is why they're so, like, if you did one, say that size, I could zoom in all the way, it'll be black image, and this body part would have to work super hard to try and get a good exposure.
Yeah.
Well, if they put a massive lens on the end, this doesn't have to work as hard.
Huh. You get natural lighting. Yeah.
Exactly. It's easy. The brighter the light, the easier it is for the photo.
Gotcha.
In theory, there's obviously arguments against both, but in theory, the lighter it is, the easier it is.
Yeah. Have you seen the videos where people are using the Samsung Galaxies with 100 times zoom on the moon, and it shows the craters?
It's so fake.
I was gonna say, is there some weird shit built into that camera, like software or something that knows it's the moon and then just automatically just puts this image there?
It wouldn't surprise me. It's just the fact I see these mobiles do it, and I'm just going like, nah, like Like, unless the phone is like, but they must have done some serious modifications to that phone. If I just can't believe it's true.
Well,
like,
I mean, it definitely works on the phone. So I have a Galaxy 21 or 22 or whatever. Maybe it's 21. And my son has 22. We're out there. This is like a month ago, full moon. And we're zooming in. We're testing it out because we just saw this video. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no way.
No,
so,
I've never experienced it, but like, if you're saying it's work, I'll eat my hat.
Like, no, I'm telling you, on here now. Well, this is the thing. Now, when I'm looking in here, it's showing up just like what you see on, that people post. Okay. I'm talking clear craters and shit, like super. It blows my mind. But am I
gonna need to sell this?
No. So, but what it does when you start zooming in, that much, like past 50% or 50 times,
does it start getting pixelated?
It gets pixelated, but then it like does this. You'll see this weird thing happen, like autofocus thing. So and then, but I'm going. Maybe it's because the contrast, the moon is like really standing out because it's dark.
It'll be really bright. People don't realize
it'd be really bright because you're zoomed in. That's taking up the whole screen.
Yeah, so everything around it is pitch black technically. Then.
Right. So
it's not a really bright thing.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I think something's built into the software that makes it look
like if I get my tinfoil hat on
filters.
Yeah, exactly. If you get tinfoil hat on, it's the sort of thing where I'm looking at it like I've seen the same videos. Yeah. And I look at it, it's always with like I've always seen it with like they get the really cheap Chinese zoom things that you like stick on the end of your camera sort of thing, like clips on.
Oh, dude. I had one of those. I had one of those years ago. It did work. I swear to God. I had a Galaxy S10 or some shit. This is years ago. And this little lens was like this short. So it clipped on. You had to get it perfect. I mean, perfectly lined up because it was just so finicky.
Yeah.
The where you could see through it. So as soon as you get it, and I put my phone on a tripod, so there was no other,
is that you can't jiggle or move?
No, it worked. I could not fucking believe it. Those videos. This is like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
those videos
where seeing them all the time.
They just like what you see is two girls sitting on a beach. And then, and it's close up. And then it starts going out and coming back and coming back and coming back. It's like a fucking mile away.
Yeah. You could go, really?
No, it wasn't that, this little thing I had wasn't that powerful, I guess. But it was pretty damn fucking, it zoomed in because the lens would you just pulled it in and out like this. And it would zoom in or out.
That's all what this is. That just pretty much a more advanced version. All that is, I turn that and it zooms in and out.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's just that simple.
Yep.
Like you'll see if you ever watch any of my like short videos or anything that I've put on YouTube, it's literally where it's like the 10-second ones where it's like me, because I wear a GoPro on my head now when I take photos out for the day to again help boost my channel and just start showing what we actually go through a little bit, like and talking and people like, there's like showing certain interactions I get in the field. Some people were like, don't take my photo, I don't like to be photographed. I'm like, I'm taking your photo anyway. But but then I get people that like always pose and stuff in it. I hate people that pose. I'm super negative. Like, it's that sort of thing where I'm like,
you don't like when people pose for it?
Oh no, when I do like do that or they go like, blah, I'm just going like, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you doing? Like it's the sort of, they do it, but then from a business point of view, they're going to look at that photo and go, oh, that's a nice photo, and carry on scrolling. But if it's one of them like in a helicopter or something like that, or they're actually engaging them, and it's like really, I'm going to say tactical sort of thing. So they've got that they tend to buy the photos more.
Gotcha.
So whenever in the field people do it, I'm like, I constantly say like, are you actually going to buy this photo? Are you? Go, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm going to take a photo of you doing the pose, and I'm going to ask you to then act tactical and take a photo. I then look at the gallery history and like see what photo. I always do kind of like at the end of the month, I go through every photo, like every still photo, to kind of get a rough, like just analytics of like what sort of style sold more than other styles.
Sure.
What do I focus on? So I can improve my business and improve what people actually want, to give what people want. Like, so I look at what photos do they always buy? The tactical one, and they never buy the one with them doing the pose. Ever. I don't think I've ever sold a photo of someone doing the pose compared to them doing the tactical.
Well, sure. Yeah, if you want to, well, it's a big difference going from, hey, do you like that picture? Yeah, I would post it on Instagram. Okay. Now, would you want it framed and put on your wall? Oh, no. No, you want the one where you look fucking badass. Okay.
Yeah, which is why I sell. So I sell the cheapo £2 ones, which are fantastic.
Yeah.
So like two, with the current exchange rate, like $225 sort of thing. I sell that as like a digital download for them to post on socials and stuff. And then I also sell prints sort of thing. So I print them all off, I post them out sort of thing. And that can range from $8 all the way up to, say, I think the most expensive one I do is like $160, which is like a 40 by 40 inch photo on just on plain paper. So I can go massive. So I can do massive prints.
Now, when you sell the prints, do you I looked at your website, I looked at some of the pricing and prints and stuff, but I didn't see I didn't click through all the way to purchase one or see what the process was. But do you offer the like your pictures back there where it's framed and matted and all that shit?
I can do, yes. But the fact is, the issue is with those ones, I have to go via a print shop. And of course, going through another third party, they need to make money as well.
Right.
So after that initial cost of me having to spend the money to get it printed and framed, it's then I try my best on the prints to keep my margins really low.
Right.
Sort of thing, because again, I'm a business myself and I have to.
Sure.
I can't do it at cost price sort of thing.
No,
otherwise there's no point doing
not.
it. But because I can't do it at cost, it's cheaper in my opinion. So to buy a paper print from me, that's the cheapest way I find to do it, buy a paper print through me. Then you buy your own frame. So I think, because again, these print shops, they have very limited sort of things on the frames and stuff you want.
Sure.
Like if I load up my website.
So most of your stuff you sell, when you sell prints, it's just you print them off?
So it's paper prints, smaller ones and stuff I do.
Yeah.
And I post them off. Anything bigger goes to a third party.
Right.
Print off to get that high quality.
Yeah.
If it's a really large print and expensive one, the print shop will print it, post it to me. I will then do a quality check on it. If it's an expensive one, that is, and then I will then post it onto the client.
Right.
Sort of thing. But if it's like a smaller one, I think I go for like anything under 20 by 20.
Yeah.
Will just get shipped straight to the customer.
Oh, that's
sort of
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's great, and this is also great for my partners because they don't have to deal with any admin.
Yep.
Like again, that's the big selling point of me, is just like, if someone has an issue with a download or anything like that, I'm like, just send it to me and I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So they focus on their craft and I deal with all the hassle of a Karen on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
Being like, I ordered this photo and it's not in the right size. And like, I look at the order, it's exactly the same. So you got what you... Oh, I ordered these downloads. Can I get the unedited version? No. Oh, but I want it. Well, okay, you can have the unedited version, but that's going to cost you X amount of money. Well, I don't want to pay that. I've already bought the edited version. Why can't I have the unedited?
Why would you want the unedited?
Like, oh, because I want to edit in my own style. And I go, well, what?
Oh, Jesus.
And like, because they see that the issue is they forget then how copyright law works here in the UK. In the UK, it's plain and simple. Whoever takes the photo owns the photo.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's in it. Doesn't matter where it is.
Right.
Whoever took the photo owns it.
Yep.
Unless you have a pre-arrangement sort of thing. So when I sell photos of anyone, they're actually buying a license to post that photo.
Right.
Like, so a personal one means they can post it on anything, personal, Instagram, anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't care as long as it's not them making money out of it.
Right.
Then on my website, I also sell a commercial photo, which is a lot more expensive, but I always recommend people who are buying commercial to message me privately, because then I can normally work out a much better deal.
Right.
through stuff, and it's just easier that way. But like that allows you to post if you want to make money out of it. Be that say I have a few content, like I said earlier, I've got a few content creator friends who have 2-3 million people on YouTube subscribers who hit these million view videos. So what do is I'm like, if they're using it for thumbnail and stuff, I will charge them a commercial rate because of that. But instead there is a really small channel, I'm like, it doesn't matter, just normal personal license. I just won't flag your video or anything. I'll just leave it to it. But it's like I've got a couple of shops and stuff where I do quite a few product photos thing for a few businesses and things like that in the airsoft market. So there's a holster company I've done photos for in the past.
I saw a picture of that. Yeah.
And then there's a couple of lasers and all those sort of like PEC boxes and stuff I've done for companies. And
yeah,
I'll take that. I've got a little studio setup that I use as a portable one, which is the one I take to NAF, and I do all these photos for products and stuff. And again, they're a commercial rate photo.
Right. Well, I saw at the bottom of your website you had a whole thing that streams at the bottom. I'm guessing these are companies you've done work for, right?
Yeah, some of them
you've got big name companies.
Yeah,
Disney and
that's the advantage of working. Exactly, it's the advantage of working. For say, I've got Disney on their version on there. I've got Attack Sense, which I remember Marcus talked to you about a few weeks ago, sort of thing. They're branching out in the US quite quickly, so you'll probably start seeing them appearing soon at certain sites. I'm going to correct something Marcus said, because he said they could only really they can actually take up to a .22 rifle hit.
No shit.
Them. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
I think it's up to .22.
Yeah.
They can take a hit of that within like a certain amount of shots.
Sure.
So, but it's still like 1,000 something rounds, but they can take a beating. In fact.
Yeah, they're heavy duty. Yeah, when he was first, well, I'm trying to think. I think it was Red Panda. I think it was Bernie that told me about it the first time because of her. Yeah. Oh, you got one. Nice. Hell yeah.
So because I do all their videos and stuff.
Yeah, the pictures. Yeah.
So it's metal back here.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and then you've got a rubberized front.
Gotcha.
So the way it works, so you've got an RGB thing. That calibrates. Back of it's metal. The way it works is on the inside, you've got something that senses vibration.
Yeah.
So it's not like the entire thing's a circuit. It's just whenever this box feels vibration or a hit, it will flash and register a hit on their app. Yeah. I've got their how do I word it? I've got basically their tester kit thing that they send out to people to test and stuff. I've got that for making videos and stuff with.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I want to try one of those out because there's been a couple people recently that I've talked with here in the US that are talking about, I think Evike or Evic here in the US, they're starting to get those in the last year or whatever and starting to sell those systems. Couple of
lots of systems with like the fold down ones where you hit it and it folds down.
Yeah.
But I found the issue with those is if you have a lower powered airsoft gun, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or if you say a sniper and you're trying to hit something long range where it's just like say you're shooting something 100 meters out, it doesn't register. Well, with those, because they're doing on the vibrate, they're like, yep. Like I've never had one of those not register a hit.
What I like about that system is the interactive, I guess, the statistics that you can get from it.
Yeah, they're great fun. Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. It's so cool. And
it's why
they are smart as hell by doing a national or a worldwide leaderboard.
Yeah, straight up. They're starting these competitions and all sorts. Like they're really branching out because they're using it as a training tool, and what they're advertising it as is a training tool. But on the side, you have all these games you can play and stuff, and like your little site if you want a bit of fun,
right?
Sort of thing. Like I now know businesses in the UK that are using those targets as like, say it's a group of people that just wanted to get like a family. Say the dad does airsoft sort of thing, and he's trying to get his wife and kids involved into it sort of thing. So what he's doing, he's finding an airsoft site on a Sunday, a normal skirmish day or a normal battle day, and they have a range with these attack scents on. They're paying for a session of just using that attack scent system.
Yeah.
So they'll have a marshal with them, loading up all these games, playing it, and they just play for a couple of hours. Like you see Laser Quest sort of thing, like where people pay for like an hour.
Yep.
People in the UK are now starting businesses up with just these in there and treating it like that.
Yeah.
Because the fact that's different between laser quest and say this is you actually get to shoot something, and it's something's coming out of a barrel.
Yep.
You get to hit something.
Yep.
And it's within a safe environment. You're not risking any pain. You can have these games.
Well, plus you can practice with your airsoft
Equipment.
gun.
Exactly. Your site. So it's
that's what you want to use.
Yeah. So I was organizing, because I do a bit of event management on the side. I was originally organizing this kind of like this sniper game, marksman game, where you went off in hunting event sort of thing. And it was, so we had like 10 pairs of snipers. So you had a spotter and a sniper go out, and they were given a time limit to complete an objective. So it was kind of like a social as well on the side of this. So they went out for an hour. So you had an enemy team who were marshals who were patrolling. So Milsim environment, they're patrolling, doing a route. And the objective of the sniper and the spotter is to take out 2 targets inside a hut, for example.
Yeah.
And the way how we registered this was with timing and where the hit was, because these can also sense a little bit of where they were hit on the target. There's a new module on the newer targets that allow you to see exactly where it was hit.
Gotcha.
So the way we do it is we got a mannequin sort of thing in the hut with then an attack sense target, head sized on it, and then a body sized one. And the objective of the sniper was you had to take out, say, the mannequin wearing the red hat. So that would have been a small attack sense target with a red hat on it. And that would change from team to team which ones are in it. So I think the idea was you had to be undetected, do it in the fast amount of time without all these things. And it was just made a really interesting event that you can achieve with these little targets.
That is cool. It's so funny you just brought that up. I swear I was just going to ask you about how do you feel about a competition for not necessarily snipers, but that would be included as well. The milsim stuff. So, you know, like Speed QB, they have tournaments. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys over in the UK and different parts of Europe, Netherlands and stuff like that, they're way farther ahead of us in America as far as the Speed QB stuff. Like they've got
100%, yeah.
You know, Russia, it's a fucking national sport.
Insane. It's insane. Like
it's literally a national sport.
For us in the UK, there is a little bit of that Speed CQB competition sort of thing, but it's still very closed. It's not nationally it's not like somewhere people go, if you know the right people to talk to, you get invited to these competitions. Right. It's not like they're trying to hide it. Like at any point, it's still so small.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why, but these speed, like I'm opinion that everyone can play airsoft in their own way.
Yeah, sure.
I don't care how people play it.
Right.
I enjoy speed, milsim sort of thing. I'm one of those people like he enjoys playing like that. Let him play like that. Especially like skirmish days. Skirmish day, in my opinion, is you can turn up with whatever kit you want.
Right.
Go have fun. Milsim, different. Don't turn up in your speed soft the kit because it doesn't fit the vibe or the rule set to do with a milsim. Right. Same goes the other way. You're a speed soft. Don't turn up if you're a milsim player.
Right.
Because your kit will not fit the rules. Exactly. It doesn't fit that rules.
Yeah.
So I want to play airsoft how you want to play it, but speed soft still for some reason has such a bad name.
Oh, I know. One thing they have now, I know it's a smaller venue, the way it's set up. I understand it's a lot easier to set up tournaments that way. But the one thing that milsim is missing, and milsim teams and milsim players are missing, is that competition. So they go to this event. I understand there's competition built into the event, but you go to an event, there's fucking 400 people there. So you're not. So there's East versus West or tan versus green or whatever it is. But there's 200 of you and 200 of them. At the end, everyone goes, well, who won? Fucking tan. Well, how did your team do? Like maybe you have a milsim team that's like 20 strong. I think we did pretty good. I don't know. Like how the fuck are you going to know? There's no competition. There's no way to measure. How, like, if you had a milsim team that you wanted to really be really good at, you go to there's no event, there's no competition event where a milsim team can go like what you're talking about with these snipers with the timed targets, objectives, like same thing you would do at a milsim, but a way to track how your specific team.
So I'm going to mention. So in the middle of COVID, I was with a team of people where we started organizing a milsim event for like
Okay.
500 people strong Milsim event. For largest one it would have been in the UK on a military active training base, which was like 400. It's huge, massive site, massive,
Yeah.
massive. Never been played active military. Where we had tanks, as in correct era tanks, and all of this, where you could hire the tank for the day, and they would be able to fire blanks. So the idea was you can make it all, but the way how we were doing it slightly different to Milsims in the US, anywhere else, was we were paying to put a GPS tracker on every single player. Every single player would have had a GPS tracker on.
Wow.
We had all the it got cancelled, unfortunately, due to the events happening in Russia and Ukraine, because they needed the military site. It's an active base.
Mm-hmm.
They needed it. So that's the issue with organising these large scale things on military land, is they can just rip it away from you last minute.
Right.
But military, they need it. 100% agree. It's like fair play. We hadn't even started selling. We just started the advertising of it.
Yeah.
So there's that. But no, the idea was every single player had a GPS tracker on. And then we had an opcon, which was who had a massive touchscreen table sort of thing that could see live where every player was at any time.
That's fucking cool.
So it's great. It was great. It was mainly there for safety, because you're on an active military site where they are doing, where during our event they might be doing active, they're doing shit. They've got stuff to do.
Right.
Sort of thing. So, but then each team leader, so would also have a table that showed where all of their players were on that team, sort of thing. The idea of this was also during the event, there'll be lots of objectives and stuff to do, either that be teams, be that battling. The idea was heavy on role play. I think we had on the books, I think we had 60 plus role players. Or because I worked in theatre and I was on the organised team, I can get tons of amateur people in who come and do this for free. So literally we had 60 people just there as role players.
Yeah.
To create like a village. And
villagers, civilians.
Exactly. The idea was to actually make it feel like a live place and running well. And just make it actually feel like you're really there, like create that immersion. Because I hate going to Milsims and there's like 2 role players. And you're kind of going like, well, this feels like a village, doesn't it? Like, is that awkward? Oh, wait a minute. I saw you 5 minutes ago. You were the butcher. Now you're the policeman. What's going on? So they think, oh, now you're the enemy commander. This makes no sense.
Oh shit!
So it's kind of like this, like you were just a butcher. What are you now? Like, and they just changed the hat. So we were trying to get rid of that completely. But the idea is because we had all these staff members around, we could easily track what objectives have been complete. Like it was to the point where we were providing all the ammo, similar to what Milsim West do, because that doesn't exist in the UK, where. Because so many people hate, like, only this certain ammo type works in my gun. We're like, then don't turn up. But it's like we're providing all of it. All the ammo would be black. So you have to know your sights are lined up. And the way how we had 2 separate car parks lined up. So each team went to a checkpoint. This is like literally the role play started the moment you got to the site.
Yeah.
So you pull your car up and we go, someone goes up, being the UN, got your paperwork, stuff. Someone's going around checking the bombs. If they haven't got their paperwork, they go to the side and then we do a search for their vehicle.
Holy shit.
Because we wanted to create that immersion.
Right.
And also a Milsim, you need to be prepared. You need to be ready to like, they get to the car, they park the car up. They're literally instantly being shouted at by their team commander, being like, why is your ship, like, get your ship, you're getting in this truck, off we're going, sort of thing. Like, it's like, and it was the same for the other team as well, exactly, but they never meet.
Dude, this sounds awesome.
So it would have been awesome, like, but unfortunately, until military things calm down a little bit, eventually one day we'll look at reorganizing it, sort of thing. But the idea was the role play on it was huge. You could talk to Marcus about this as well. He'll go into great details. Yeah, because he was on the organizing team as well. But the idea was it was just to create that whole next step in the Milsim Evolutionary. So I think, like, how can we make that next jump to make it a one-off event? Because you've got Milsims now, but the issue is, like you're saying, who won? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What do we do next? Like, we're trying to create, like, another good example of this is when you turn up, you're instantly chucked on the truck and you're off to your forward operating base. You're straight there. And the first thing you're doing is you'll have someone, like, you'll get a check sheet. Just like some people, I know in the UK, when you arrive at a base, or you're leaving a base, you get a check sheet. You must return this. You must do this. You must get this signed. You must do this. Like wherever you go, you get there, you have to fill out this check sheet. You leave, you have to fill out this.
That's half the military, bro.
Exactly.
Fucking checklists and waiting in line.
So that's exactly how we're doing it. But we're doing it in terms of you have to go to the armory. Why do you have to go to your armory? To get your BBs, because we're providing it all. That's so you got like, what's your weapon? Cool. Here's that. Go through there. Like, get your rifle certificate.
Oh, that's cool.
That's when you'll go and then get chronoed.
Right.
To make sure you're in the site limits and stuff and make sure you're functioning. But then you go, cool, next you need to go to this way. You need to go to that, to the Opcom area to get your, like, cool, once your team's together, come here, we'll give you your orders. Cool. Meet at this time, your team leader, come here. Cool, we're now going to organize your rotation on who's on stag, who's not. Like, so it instantly created that immersion from the get-go sort of thing of you're sleeping in this tent, you're sleeping in this tent, here's your team tent.
Yep.
It was just flat out immersion. And then because we had all these things, we then employed, had on the books, I'm going to say, because we didn't fill it, we had a team of ex-military or active serving sort of thing who were staff team, and all they did was they were under the Opcom's control to go and create role play events, or to, like, because we had an indigenous force versus a force coming in, they set up mortars. It was their job at 1 a.m. to fire off tons of it. We managed to organize the flight plans and stuff for the mid of, because it's an active base. We managed to work out their flight plans. We got in touch with their commander. Like, we organized it all.
Yeah.
So a flight plan, Apaches would come over the top, 3 of them during their normal flight plan. As they do every week. They'd go fly over on that day. But we managed to persuade them to come in for a training exercise. We got it worked out for the close of an area. Then once they take off, they then release a load of sparks going off, sort of thing, flares. So then signify the start of the game and stuff like that. So we're adding all these elements that isn't seen anywhere except maybe Milton West, but even still, it's like we're trying to step it up. But that's in the past. Hopefully we'll do it at some point. But yeah.
That would be cool as hell. Yeah. See, that's getting it that step closer to the more realistic kind of, you pay, if you go to a 3-day mil sim or a 2-day, whatever, 40 hour, 48 hour and continuous. So you pay this, lump sum, you go, and then like you're saying, from the time you get there.
Yeah. To the time you leave.
Go.
Yeah.
Where's your gear? Get your shit. Let's go. Get in line. Get over here. Go get your ammo and your.
What do you mean you're not ready? Like,
yeah.
But the main selling point was the issue Muslims have right now in the UK is there is no event where you don't get to see your enemy. Like, because it's social, but you instantly see who you're up against.
Oh, I got
that makes sense. So like you turn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
For me, I'm like, the issue I found with that is like 24 hours. I literally parked up, safety brief. I was looking over to the person, being like, "Oh, great, this person's here," or "Oh, he's got this gear. Oh, he's got night vision goggles. None of us have night vision goggles."
Yeah.
I instantly knew what I was going to expect from the enemy, like instantly. While going to these other events, like the idea of the plan for R1 was like, you don't know what you're up against. You have no idea.
That would be cool shit.
Like, is that you're literally, car parks are separate completely.
Right.
But the way how, again, airsoft is a social sport.
Right.
100%. And it's definitely a sport. It's not a hobby. It's not this. It's a sport. Like,
but the social part for that kind of event, if a team or individuals wanted that kind of experience, and there's a lot of them.
We had a central village organized.
You can socialize after, okay?
So exactly.
In the beginning, you come in, you don't know who your enemy is. You're on either sides, and then you start, and it's like, it kind of adds a little bit of.
The fact is that with the indigenous force stuff, you didn't know who was a role player and who was a player. Right. You had no idea. So being the Western force coming in, for example, you were going in, but like you actually don't know. Are you a player? Can I trust you? Are you if there's a baker, you don't know if that's a player or if it's not a player.
Yeah.
You don't know. But the other big point was the way how we're fixing that social point was at the end of the event, we were going to go down, set up a little stage sort of thing, have a massive bonfire on the on the last day of the evening, because it would be a 48-hour event, non-stop all the way through till the last day. Index is called. Everyone go grab your tent. Come on, let's go in this field. We're going to have a party, chill, relax, great food, do a debrief. Be like, have, like you see with like Formula One or footballers and stuff, they will have their guys at tables with the organizers, the players on, like leaders, and they do like a FAQ, just like talking, being like, hey, this is what happened, this is who won. Do you have any questions about what you enjoy? Like, have an open forum. About what people want to enjoy and stuff and all that sort of thing.
That sounds awesome, dude. Yeah, if we could incorporate, you know, I'll tell you who's good at that too, is Balahack. Balahack Airsoft, you know, Swamp Sniper.
Yeah, he does fantastic ones.
Bro, the role play stuff.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, he goes all out.
The only thing I watch when I watch those is like nothing against it, but I kind of sometimes see a lot of the time that you get a lot of younger people there as well, or like between the age of 10 and 16, I'm going to say. Right. And I find that sometimes there's I've watched quite a few of his videos because I really enjoy them. There's a few times where it's a story out going, and then it's just ended by some random shot, and I'm kind of going, oh, like that's the only negative I can ever see. But I love his videos and stuff, and like how he does it. I would love to one day be able to go and take photographs at his site.
Yeah, that's like, well, the good thing about, I think that's why my two sons and you know, the guys I know that play, that started playing whatever recently, they in the last couple of years, they went to some open play, they went to some indoor, and they, you know, and then they started to go milsim, and they stuck with milsims because there's a age requirement. Well, it's, you know, there's kids could go, you know, with their parent. But it's a huge commitment. It's the ticket's more expensive. You have to have all the right gear. You have to have the right uniform. You can't just show up with, you know, jeans and a t-shirt.
And you're going to be shouted at. Yeah. Like you're going to be told what to do.
Yes, exactly.
Quite a few people, like,
the maturity level's a lot more, you know, it's a lot higher. Right.
You know what you're going into.
Yeah.
Like me doing a 24-hour milsim, I'm an adult. I know when I'm going to bed now. Like, like, is that sort of thing where you kind of go, I can look after myself. Or if you say got younger, as an organizer, when you've got the younger audience there and stuff, you have to be mindful. Even if you've got a parent or guardian there, you have to be mindful of, hey, there's kids here. You don't, and then it's like certain things, like on certain milsims I've been to, where you're allowed to take prisoners and blindfold and hang. You're allowed to do certain elements.
Yeah.
If you've got that younger audience, you can't. And in my opinion, that at times it can ruin that.
Oh, for sure.
Aspect, like not in a bad way, but it's that sort of thing where like I've got to be mindful now. I've got to.
Well, in my opinion, and obviously it doesn't mean much, but anyone under 18 or 17 should not be at a 3-day milsim.
100%. Just they just don't have that mentality.
No, dude, just adults only. Because there's plenty of other options for, you know, minors to go to. The full day, you know, skirmishes, the open plays, the all kind of shit.
Like for me, it's the sort of thing for me, like anyone of the age of 16 plus can go and play whatever milsim they want to.
Yeah.
Like it adds that. The main fact to me is, you know, they're in there and they're aware of their surroundings.
Right.
They should have at least that mental capacity to handle the stressful situations that could occur during certain types of milsims.
Yeah.
Granted, if it's like a smaller milsim, like maybe an 8-hour event, different, you can probably allow a younger audience because it's only 8 hours. It's like since their school day. But say you hit those 12 hours, suddenly you're hitting 20, then suddenly you're hitting 24, and it's increasing. You go, they might not have the right kit. They might not know when it's like it starts getting cold out. They're like, they've been running around for hours and they're really warm, but they might not realize in the evening the temperature's going to drop.
Yeah.
So they might not put their coat on and stuff or their extra layers on early enough, sort of thing. Because you know, you go running out, you might go running for 4 hours and you're really hot, but you know, like you still might be really hot, but you know the temperature's cold. So the first thing you do when you get back to tent, you're putting that coat on, even though you're still absolutely boiling, because you know the moment you stop for longer than 10 minutes, you're going to go freezing. They don't have that experience of experiencing like getting cold, like up to that level. Like when you're in a basher sleeping underneath some random tree, you're going to want to put your layers on.
Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, this is something I've really been interested in with since I've been talking to a lot of mill simmers is some type of competition for milsim teams, that something for them to
Something to
work
actually brag
towards.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Bragging rights. They need bragging rights.
Bragging rights, bro. Like, well, what made me think of this is this tax sense, and what I really liked about it. I mean, it's a great system, but like I said, that worldwide leaderboard, bro, they
Huge.
definitely
They've got
know
it.
the business thing, because I remember one of the first business books I read, How to Win Friends and Influence People, right?
Yeah.
There's a story in there where he's hired as a consultant, whatever. He goes to this is whenever it was, years and years and years
Yeah.
ago. And manufacturing company, I think they were making car parts or maybe cars. I don't even
Well, yeah.
remember who it was. But he walks out, and the problem was night shift wasn't, producing as many as day shift.
Yeah.
Or whatever, second shift or whatever. So he goes out, sidewalk chalk, right on the entrance floor to the product, production line. He says, how many did first shift do today? 6 cars or 8 cars, whatever. He writes a big number 8.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all he did.
Says, because essentially it's that competition then of like, oh, they
created a competition. Second shift hit that number. Third shift hit that number. The next day, first shift, upped it 1.
Number.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they all continued. And it was
it's something I'm doing with, to be honest, with photos currently, is in the lines of when I start creating up the shooting gallery website sort of thing for you to upload, there will be a sort of thing where I'm very transparent in how much money and stuff make and stuff. And a part of that would be like, X person made 20 sales last week, for example. This person made 60 sales. I start hitting those little things and being like, why is, but also then creating lessons and getting the people that are hitting all these high sales,
right,
and create kind of like a blog post or even YouTube video on why I think they hit those 60 sales, and like why the person who only hit 20, what factors are there? Like, could it be that the site has more players that attend, because that's a number one factor?
Sure.
Or is the site has more milsim players? Because these people have spent the money on the kit.
Right.
Remember what I said with that 3-part thing earlier on, with that 20%, big majority is looking good.
Yeah.
If it's someone who's just started airsoft, they might not feel confident in how they look in their kit and stuff. And they don't want photos of that because they could be slightly embarrassed. It sounds awful, but they could be nervous about how they look.
Yeah.
Well, compared to someone who's just spent $3,000 or something on kit, like getting all that cry and all of that sort of thing, spending money on like a gun like Marcus had, which cost him $2,000 or something silly.
Yep.
Sort of thing. He wants the photo of him looking good, and he has the money because he's bought this kit. Obviously, he has a bit of money to do it.
Right.
So that site might have a bigger milsim player base who do skirmishes to train and practice, compared to a smaller site that might just have beginners on. So it creates all of that. I'll be back in just a second. I just get my dinner. But no, like the whole thing on like the milsim area, it's just like, I agree. There needs to be some way to kind of actually show the people that train and spend the time doing it,
right,
compared to the people that are just all the talk.
Yeah, because I feel like there's this there, so and this is, I guess, this thought or idea has come up probably in the last few months when I'm talking to, I'll talk to some people that have milsim teams that have been, together for like 10 plus years, right? And these guys train, like really train. They post videos on their training, like they're doing military style training, calisthenics, fucking, running in the dirt and crawling through, whatever, like all these different training things with all their kit on. And this is every week. Yeah, this is like every weekend, leading up to a milsim. Well, then, they have 20 people on their team that are constantly, like in shape, training, doing all this, all the echelon movements with their, their fire teams and shit. And then learn all the hand signals, the call outs.
Yeah, it shows.
Then they go to the milsim and they're stuck on a team, on tan team with 350 people.
Yeah. How do you know they're good? What separates them from the large guy who's just doing airsoft?
That's what I'm saying. And then there's, you know, like my sons, two of my sons, and then their friend, you know, they might have 4 or 5, 6 of them that go to a mil sim. They never practice. They never, you know, they know the basics. I mean, they've been to, you know,
yeah,
15 mil sims or whatever. They know like what to do, and they have all the gear. They know how to handle weapons. They know how to shoot. They know what to do, you know, but
they
they're
know all the
not,
basic, but they're not to the same level of the team
no,
that are training
they're
every week.
rusty. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So, you
it's
know, and that's a lot of people that go
yeah,
to these mil sims. So
hugely.
how do you, I feel like there's got to be some kind of,
There needs to be a reward. Like,
right.
like the
We need a
only
reward system for these teams that are like gung ho as fuck.
yeah.
And the only way, like the only thing there is now that tests them is like a Milsim West, like a harder Milsim, but
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
still
You're
clumped in
you're
with
still
this.
a number.
Yes.
You're a number, not a name.
Right.
That is the big thing. So it
We're
needs
missing
to be a
that,
way
dude,
of
in Milsim.
yeah. But
I don't know
I
who to talk
guess
to get something like this set up, because look, the venue, as far as a business standpoint, whoever the event coordinator is for some of these big mil sims, they're not going to make as much if you have an event like this, but
yeah, exactly.
you could do more of them because it would be a smaller. So you don't have to rent a huge site, right?
Yeah, from an organized point of view, from where I've come, where I've organized events, and the only negative of that is it takes more time. So yes, you can run more of them.
Yeah.
But each individual event, because you're trying to add all these extra things in, it complicates that running of the event.
Yeah.
So it adds an extra 5 or 6 steps in, which can actually be, it takes a lot more planning to do this, like adding something in. Mm-hmm. Like this scoring system,
right?
You then have to add in just a staff member needs to be there at the objective to confirm who got it, to get their names, to get all their player numbers or equivalent. Mm-hmm. Suddenly you're down a staff member per every objective. So say you're running, let's use a large one, for example, Milton West. Say they might have 6 objectives running for only one team at the same time within the same hour. Yeah. So they've got 3 teams. Suddenly that's 18 objectives happening within the same hour, possibly. Mm-hmm. So therefore you then need 18 technically staff members to then prove who's completed each objective.
Right.
So it's a logistical nightmare. Granted, you've got the attack sense system or equivalent target system, or you might hear a lot, but even still, the attack sense doesn't necessarily prove who did it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Because it could have just been a random player who's walked along and, well, that's a fun target. I'm just going to shoot it from afar.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Suddenly, like, oh, who scored that? What happened? Like, I think the biggest reward for Milsims that do train hard is the fact that they get to experience the higher end operations. I know when I'm on the organized side and I know a team's come in and they've done all the training for these events.
Yeah.
I know I consider them on the really fun missions to do. They can go breach that door, go set some explosions, go fly in a helicopter.
Right.
So I know they're going to go do it and have fun. So to them, they're like, we've got to do this really cool thing. But when the score's totaled up, it means nothing.
Right.
Which is the big issue with Mills, and there's no gratification for winning the event. Mm-hmm. It should be all about the experience.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
But to add that, yes, we won thing, it's that difficult part on how do we actually make it, which is why switching it up a little bit, a large skirmish game like the National Airsoft event, which is just a giant clusterfuck, I'm going to say. Like, in simple terms, from being a player at it, from being an organizer on it, from being a stall holder on it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So I've done all aspects of this gun game.
Yeah.
Sort of thing it's that rule of 3. 60% playing, 20%, like 30% looking cool, 10% playing.
Right.
It's that simple thing of the playing is absolutely awful. You've got 3,000 people playing on a woodland.
Right.
Like, there is no physical way.
No.
So if you go into it knowing that the play is awful, you'll have a fantastic time.
Sure.
Like, if you go there, be like, someone just take their hits, be like, oh, they didn't take their hits, I'm just going to shoot them more.
Yeah.
That's the simple rule of it. You go there to look good, get some great photos, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and and you go there to have a social. They've got bars, they've got live bands. It's
Right.
That's what that event is about. While a Milsim, it's not necessarily about that. It's about this. Like National Event is about social and having fun.
Sure.
Milsim is about the experience and doing these one-off unique events that never happen normally.
Right.
For an average civilian to go in and have fun and do in a safe working environment.
Exactly.
Compared to like, it's as close as you can get to a military operation in a safe way.
Yep. And without the 4-year commitment that, you know.
Yeah, and the risk of dying, sort of thing.
Oh, that thing too, yeah.
Oh, that little one.
Yeah, man. Well, one of the ideas I had about this Milsim thing was like an event could be something like one team, they, you know, you sign up, your team signs up, they pay a team fee, the whole team pays a fee to enter this thing. They are against the clock and against the objectives and targets. So you could score based on time, like you're talking about this sniper thing. So it's timed event, maybe not timed like a countdown timer, like you have to finish it with this, but whatever time you get, there's a, you know, set
a score out of 10
from
thing.
20 minutes to 30 minutes, you get X amount of points from whatever. And that would have to be tested on that particular event site or whatever. But so you have 5 objectives,
like
you have hostage rescue, you have, and each one of these things has paper, man targets that have the, you know, the scoring orbs on them, you know, just like regular shooting targets.
Taking notes. I'm just taking some notes.
Yeah. And I mean, this is an idea. I'm trying to, you know, figure out how, I guess logistically and business wise, how it would make sense for an event coordinator to set something like this up. And then, but the big thing is, okay, so we could figure those things out. Those are easy. Basic details. Like anyone that's been to a Milsim like more than 5 times, you know, like serious, they know, okay, we take over objective A and there's a little switch in there. We switch it to our team's side and it starts a timer or whatever. And then we have to hold that objective. Then there's a hostage rescue. Then there's this, and then there's that. So if your Milsim team has 20 people, or let's say it has to have 20 people, because you want the variables to be limited.
Like if you've got a team between 10 to 15, you qualify for these events, these scenarios.
Exactly.
But I think the way you run it, it's just from how I would run it, would be is you hire a site for a day. Sort of thing. All the teams turn up and you treat the safe zone. Everyone's in the safe zone at all times. Like, and it's treated as you are not against each other. It's a friendly, social sort of thing. You then get over the microphone, your team gets called up saying, please come to gate A, sort of thing. You go to gate A, you're given your brief, off you go. They complete that mission A. Then once they've completed it, staff team reset. The team that were just out there, go back to the safe zone, chill.
That's
relax,
what I'm talking about.
Give information.
Now there's a worldwide leaderboard put up where these teams had entered. And the thing is, your leaderboard is already created by whatever website, forum, or what, you know, where the team signs up themselves. So they enter their team name with all their team players. And then, so that's already there. You know, the basics, like that's simple. So I want to create this venue on my website for Milsim teams to start kind of a leaderboard. But I don't know who to talk to kind of get this thing going.
I think the only way to do it would be you would have to be that spark and hire a site.
Okay.
I think that's the only, I think you would have to hire that site or find a site owner who's willing to let you do the event.
Right.
You would then have to organize that event as such. And I think for the first few, you're going to have to be honest, you're going to have to do it kind of for free. I think it's going to suck because it's a brand new thing. With any new thing, people hate change. People hate because it's different to the norm. People hate different to the norm, like completely. So you're going to have to invite these teams who are friends and stuff.
Right.
And maybe invite some content creators, because I hate the word influencer. Like, bring these content creators in. I can't stand it. So,
you're an influencer, bro. Talking
about. Don't. I received such a really nice Instagram message the other day, actually, on Tangent. It was just like, oh, you got me into airsoft photography. You got me into. I was like, going, oh, stop it. stuff here. And I'm actually inviting him into possibly into my partner program once I've met the guy.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, oh, like you made me blush sort of thing moment. But no, back to the main thing. You're gonna have to invite some of these content creators in.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Bring them in, be like, and then get them to give you honest feedback. Do it as a private event. Don't publicize it for the first 2 times.
Yeah.
Do it twice. You're gonna make a loss. It is what it is. Try and find a site that might let you do it for free.
Well, I mean, that's R&D basically.
Exactly. That's literally what I'm doing the partner program for now. With me, it's R&D to launch in the shooting gallery later next year. Is because if that all works out and I get these people on, it works like it'll work like a treat. But it's a lot of admin work. But no, back to the thing. You run 2 events. You give it a go. See what happens. If it works, you've got this. I'd say first one, it's going to flop. It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Every event run for the first time, it's going to be awful.
Sure.
Right? No matter what. I've never known an event run for the first time go like positive.
No, it works 100%. Differently when you're, on paper than in real life. Like that's everything ever. Even military operations that are like with all this intel and all this information
for like 4 years, and it's like
half of it's a clusterfuck, bro. Okay.
Yeah. But no, so you run maybe 2 private events with invite only.
Yeah.
Then you take those 2 things you've learned from, improved on. Third one, you invite the people who have just done the last one for free again, but then you also offer it for paid for external teams to then come in.
Right.
You've done that, so that's now you're starting to make it a little bit. You've probably broken even on that last one you break. Because to be honest, the only expenses you're going to have, say if I'm thinking like it's a day, maybe 2-day thing.
Yeah.
The only expense you're going to have is possibly hiring a caterer to provide food, or you just tell them to bring your own food in camp.
Right.
That's right. You don't have any. It's just the land cost higher and maybe a target system or whatever admin system you're wanting to use. Or
targets. Set up.
That's the only outgoing you've got. So to be honest, it means the price doesn't actually have to be too
admins,
high.
refs, marshals, whatever. Somebody because somebody's gonna have to be at each one of these objectives. Whether it's a hostage rescue or
the fact is, so if you're doing it where you're doing it per team, to be honest, you don't need that many staff members because at that point, because you're just doing this one team at a time,
right?
You have there's a lot less that can go wrong in theory because you're not going to risk another team coming on and shooting that target. So if you use like the attack system, you just wait for that target to register,
right?
Even though, and as long as
that's true.
It can be technically unmanned, though. I recommend you need to add some role play. It's a milsim still, so you need to add that level of complication.
As far as the scoring system goes, that's the reason I was thinking of the paper targets is to each team would collect their targets, or we would collect their targets at the end to hand them out. So each target is labeled. Okay, this is objective A with the hostage rescue. Okay, this is the bad guy.
But the attack system, I'm going to be saying 7. You can name each individual target.
Really?
Each target can be put in a group or named as an individual thing. So you can name it. Yeah. So you can name a target. Say you have 20 targets, for example. So I think you can have up to like 9. I think it's up to 999 targets on one system.
Holy shit!
It's huge.
Now the newer ones, what you were talking about earlier, do those have? You said they have.
They can sense
target
where
specific.
It gets hit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I wonder if they has a point. Yeah, if those have. So if you get a center mass, more accurate, I guess
they do.
100%. See, that would be the defining factor in, okay, let's say, Milsim team A runs through this course. They get X amount of points, 500 points.
Yeah, exactly. The other big thing you can do with these as target is you can assign one to be a hostage. So it's a different color.
Oh, shit.
So you can call it, so you might have
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah.
So you have targets that are green. You can't shoot the green ones.
Right.
Or you have some that are red, but you can also put in a double tap system. So it means you have to shoot that target twice
for it to register.
Yeah. So for example, say it's got body armor on.
Right.
You hit it once, you hit it, then it's like, why is it still? Then it will change color, but it's still an enemy color. So you have to hit it again.
Oh, dude, I need to look up more of these videos on this.
Yeah. Guys. So the guy who made it, his name's Nigel. He's fantastic. Like,
I would love
yeah,
to talk to him about something like this, because I'm thinking like you get points deducted if you shoot the hostage on accident,
it'll do
obviously,
automatically.
right? Oh
Do
my
it
God, that'd be
automatically.
cool as shit.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you can literally create your own games through the app.
Oh my
Or the
God.
way how they work, because there's such a bunch of people who run the company. It's just run
Yeah.
by two people, Nigel and Rob. So Nigel's just like the front man and does a lot of the R&D
Okay.
and physical elements and a bit of programming. And then you've got Rob, who does a lot of programming and physical. He's mainly the R&D guy, in my opinion.
Right. Man, what a cool. Okay, I did not know they did all that.
Yeah, and because each one's battery powered, like actually, let's see if any of the batteries have any charging. I can show you it. So they also do small targets.
Yep.
Let's see. Do I have any batteries lying around? Knowing me, I probably don't. There we go. So that's really bright.
Yeah.
So lights up, change the color and stuff. It's going to do that because it's not connected to the app, but like it can like. But yeah, it's that. So that's the battery hooks on, and then it's just got you can literally mount it on with anything. It's just got that in the back.
Yep.
And that's where you mount it up. Battery just sits there.
Yeah, like a tripod type of thing or something. Yeah.
Exactly. You could like, but they also do movable things, so you can have it moving along the track. They sell those.
I've seen those videos.
Yeah, they have trigger mats and stuff like that. So say you've got a mat you have to step on and stuff as well.
Bro, okay. Yeah, definitely getting some more ideas with that. Okay. Well, man, that is cool as shit. So so give me a rundown real quick before we wrap up. Give me a rundown of what is your favorite gun to run. You've been playing for a long time. What you kind of settle into. Do you like I know most of you guys I've talked to in the UK that like the Milsim do not like HPA because it's speedy boys or whatever.
Right. So
what's your favorite gear? What's your gun you're running now?
So
that kind of shit.
I'm Milsim person, and I don't play that often. That's a big thing. I don't play as often as I used to.
Right.
So I personally like HPA. I have no issue with people that
blasphemer.
Don't care. Don't care. I personally don't use a HPA though, but I feel it has a place. And like I used to own, actually I still do, a SR25 original Polar Star setup going back 12 years now.
Wow.
First one off it I had one of the first Polar Star engines in the UK. My knowledge, like going back 12
That's
years.
Cool. Yeah.
HPA 12 years ago, only one, like Polar Star, brand new company, sort of thing, original engine. Right. Built it into a SR25, and it was silent. Sold it. The guy unfortunately changed some settings and broke it. I bought it back off him, and I've never been able to get it back up to that scratch, but it sits in the case. But what I currently use is I love gas guns. Straight up, I have my two favorite ones I use. It's a RS5, I think it is, on top of my head. I can't remember what it actually is modeled after in the slightest. It's a gas gun. Then I use an MP9 as well, a little gas gun I love. I then use an Umarex Glock 19 Gen, I think it's Gen 2 or Gen 3, one of the two.
Nice.
Love it to pieces. I don't wear a chest plate. I run light because I'm only like 5'5". I'm tiny. So I just wear a belt rig. Yep. And that I keep 2 mags on it, keep them pistol on it. And then I wear iPro. I use Block iPro, best iPro I found. Doesn't steam up, doesn't do anything. Never had an issue with it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my setup. I travel light and easy.
Lower face pro.
I use, depending on the environment, at night or in a CQB environment.
Yeah.
I will wear a Lone Star lower face.
Gotcha.
Sort of thing.
The newer one with the nose protector.
Yeah. So I'm actually doing a load of work with Lone Star soon. So,
okay.
So
I'm trying to get him on the podcast. So
he will, Eddie. He'll eventually get on.
Yeah.
He will. He's just currently in Germany for 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
He's just a very busy. When you have a small company and then it's gone massive really quickly, he's trying to catch up. But I say that's wrong. He's trying to spin as many plates as he can.
Right. Yep.
So he's doing that. I'm like I said, I'm hopefully going to be doing a lot of work with him on a commercial level very soon.
Gotcha.
With be that product photos and videos on certain things as well. So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's pretty. And then, but in normal like woodlandy stuff, or if I'm not playing, it just sits around my neck, or I don't have it on, or I have it in my bag. If I notice there's a lot of people shooting, not really paying attention, because I'm normally wearing a high vis. I'm normally out there taking photos. If I notice that someone's being a bit reckless, I might just go grab it out of my bag and put it on.
Gotcha.
That tooth there's half fake from where it got shot out like 6 years ago. So it's that sort of thing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it is what it is. I got in trouble, but it is what it is.
Well, listen, Josh, it's been awesome talking with you and meeting you. Man, it's been great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I hope to get out in the States at some point and do some photos at certain sites. So I'm definitely going to give you a bell when I fly over there with the camera and be like, right, what sites can I go take photos at?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we need more of that because right now there's not a whole lot of it.
It's what in America, I'm trying to push, because my website, I can sell through dollars. I've set it up in the way that I can sell anywhere in the world.
Okay.
So say there's an airsoft photographer, if you're listening to this podcast at all, and you want to make some money, give me a shout on Insta and I'll freaking
absolutely.
I'll set you up.
I will message Trenton Timberlake right after this for sure.
My whole vibe is I want people to respect photographers and what they can actually do, and get the people that are who are starting out, who have the goal, the passion. The passion's where it's at for me. Yeah. If you have that passion and you know how to frame a good image, so you have that raw talent, I will sign you up and mentor and get a team to mentor you. Yeah, I've got Dan. I've got these people who I've got a long list of people in my I'm going to say black book of names who will quite happily spend 5-10 minutes on a phone call talking you through how to set something up, how to edit an image, like how to talk to a site owner to get permission to take photos, because that's a whole mission in itself. I'm
sure.
Because a lot of them are like, they don't want to charge their players more money. Like, why are you sending your photos? That's going to cost the player more money. But they get high quality. It's like I've got literally a bullet point. If, like, you know, when you go like on old video games, you've got the old quest log, like someone says, and get your free options. I've literally got that set up in a document, like how to respond to certain questions.
I love it. Oh yeah.
Sort of thing. But no, it was great.
You should take some of those. You should take some of those just as a funny video. Take some of the automatic response or the choices from, like, what is it, Mass Effect? What was the other one that's real big on that? Skyrim.
Quite big on it as well. The Fallout games,
yeah, Fallout. So take some of those responses and insert them into a video where you're talking to an airsoft field owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It was great meeting you.
Yeah, you too, man. I appreciate it. Where can people find you online?
So you've got my website, which is www.kriosphotography.com, or on my Instagram, which is Krios Photography, or guess what, on my YouTube, which is also Krios Photography. It's that simple.
That is simple.
Just look how it's spelt, because people get confused.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's understandable.
I'll put all those links.
Cheers. I'll send them all to you in a minute anyway.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you.
No worries. I'm going to eat dinner.
Have a good night,
It's just sitting there getting cold. Right, catch you in a bit. Thank you.
Bye-bye.